What's your biggest win?
The $1 million one drop was 4.7 million.
At the age of 13,
Yeah.
you won 30K, right?
Yeah.
Under the name of your mom. If you didn't manage to win this money, like, would your parents support your passion to poker? Okay, let's
Cheers.
I don't drink spirits. Yeah.
I'm pretty drunk. Do you feel that?
Hi everyone, tonight we're with Mario and I'm going to ask him some questions and he will tell us some interesting things about him and his career and his life. So, hi Mario.
Hello, Olga.
Before this interview I made a short research about you.
Oh yeah.
And I found out an interesting thing that you started playing poker at the age of 11.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Do you remember your feelings, why you were so interested in that game, and like how were you like hooked up for that?
Yes, I started playing at 11. I remember I watched it on TV and it was like the sports channel where they had the World Series, and I just loved everything about it. I loved the game. It was the World Series main event. I loved like how it was on big stage. So I looked it up online and then I found out that there's full tilt, and I started playing like free rolls and full tilt back then, and it was like must be 2008 or 2009, and I was hooked from day one. So like anything you could consume for poker, any video, I just watched it all, and it was like that was my hyper fixation back then.
Oh, that's great, because I have like a big addiction to poker, and
Yeah.
I'm glad to meet people like that who love the poker like for a long time, and their passion for it is like huge.
How was it for you when you started out playing poker? How did you find it?
I found out like by accident. My school friend invited me to play online for Play Money, and I liked it immediately. But before that, I saw probably this movie about James Bond where they were playing.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's also nice. I like when they show poker like in the movies. It also adds like new people to our game.
Did you have a James Bond experience in poker where you got like to play in a Casino Royale type of setting? Maybe Game of Gold was the one where it's like they made it really cool.
No, but I hope that one day I will play with someone who is not professional but would like to like play for like big stakes and
Big money.
yeah, big money, and I will fight versus Le Chiffre. Yeah. So my question is, at the age of 13,
Yeah.
you won 30K, right?
Yeah.
Under the name of your mom.
Yes.
Yes. And your family invested this money to the stakes, right?
Yes.
What do you think? Like, if you didn't manage to win this money, like, would your parents support your passion to poker? Like, what would be their attitude?
Yeah. No, they were absolutely brilliant, and I'm still thankful that like the way how they handled it. It was just brilliant. I can't believe, like, it is a short version, but like I played like free rolls, like I played every day for 2 years until I had the first success. And the first time I won, I went to mom. I was like, I have this money on full tilt. It was right at the time of Black Friday. It was like, I don't know what to do with it, but like I cannot withdraw it because it was under my name. So I had to tell her, hey, we just let's just say you played it and then let's withdraw it. And I can't believe still like they supported me from the first time I told them. Of course, it helped that I told them that I was playing for money at the time that I won. But even then still, like they knew I was playing poker for money at 12 or 13. And they were like, okay, they trust me to do the right thing. And the thing what they said, okay, you can play, and the money we just invest and we put it in stocks.
Oh,
and
that's great.
We put it aside. So it was absolutely brilliant how they handled that.
Wow, that's nice. Like, to have this support from your parents is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you remember your feelings when you started playing and you started like to succeed?
Yeah, I didn't know any poker player. I never met any poker player until I was 15, 16. And then it was Hannes was my first friend, and Fedor was my second friend in poker. That was like maybe 15 or 16 years old. And until then, I never met anyone in the scene. So like I was very like isolated. I was watching YouTube videos. And for me, it was really just a game. Like the money obviously was a reward, but for me, it was like a score that I keep trying to push up. I was playing the stakes not because like I couldn't use any of them, or like didn't have anything I could do with the money. So like I just wanted to push up the stakes. And it was at the same time where I was like playing football very competitively. So like football took more over. So like poker took a backseat. But it was like I was really hype obsessed. Like I remember the first times that I played, you got to play money games on full tilt, and you win a dollar ticket, which is the daily dollar, and they'll set the alarm at like 2:30 a.m. in the morning to wake up to spin up a stack where I knew I would cash. So then I sit out, and the next day I could take the $1.50 I take from the main cash to then play on the lowest stakes, because that was the only way I could deposit to actually get money on the side. So that's how I started getting into real money games back then.
That's interesting. And you didn't have friends who also play poker?
Not a single one, no.
Wow.
No.
Who was the first like for you to know like in real life like?
That friends of mine or my parents? I think my parents were the first.
No, not your parents. Like you say that you were like isolated till the age of 16 or something.
Yes.
Like whom you met like in poker?
Okay,
like?
So my cousin was like 10 years older than me. He's good friends with Hannes Speiser, and Hannes Speiser is a pro player from Vienna. And then when I was like 15, 16, I started to play like Sundays at his house, and he's like maybe 5 years older than me, so he was like 20 at the time. And that's how I got to know the community. And then I got to know Fedor at like 15 or 16 when Fedor moved to Vienna, where he was like 18. So like that's my first steps into the poker community and like getting friends and talking with friends about it. And at this time, it was like still very early in my career, and it was the very early phase. So the first ones are my parents, and the next ones were Hannes, and then Fedor was the next, where he was still very young.
Close.
Yeah, that was 2012 and 13, yeah.
Okay.
So it's wild, it's 11 years ago, I can't believe it, yeah.
It's like long time ago, but still like, still close.
It feels like, it's, when I think about it, like I know it happened, but it feels like such a distant memory.
Yeah, I started playing in like 2011, I just started, and at 2012, I had my first successes, but not like really big things happening.
And then after 2012, like this, like what happened afterwards? You got into poker for like the first, your first success and your first experience, and then
I just started playing, and I was a profitable player.
Yeah.
And as far as I was living in Ukraine, life was kind of cheap there.
Yeah.
And it was like very nice life for me. I didn't need to go work. Like I had like my source of income, poker. And at the beginning, it was like really easy, like to print money. I don't know, like, and you didn't need to win like a lot to make like to have nice life. So
you were perfectly set with that.
Okay, then you dedicated your life to football, right?
Yes.
We will not speak about it like about that. I'm interested in poker aspects. I want to know like how, like what do you feel? How, like what were your feelings when you had to quit football for poker? Like was it scary for you? Like were you nervous about that? Like it's a very big change.
It was a big decision back then. I remember like poker didn't play a role. It was not the decision to quit football for poker. That was never the decision. It's more like, okay, I've been doing football for like the last 3 years on a professional level, and I knew that this would not be something I would want to do the next 15 years. And I'm like, if I do something, I usually get pretty dedicated. And for me, it was the decision, okay, do I really want to do that for my 20s and 30s, or is it just something that like everybody expects me to do? And it's the next logical step, because at this point there never was the question, do I actually want to become a professional footballer? It was just always the next step in the process. And at this time I realized, okay, I'm not really happy what I'm doing right now, and this time was playing professional in the Bundesliga in Austria, and like, okay, this stage I definitely don't want to do the next 10 years. So like I have to change something. And then I tried, okay, I never actually had a break from football since I was 5 years old. So I was like, hey, what if I try not playing, and if I like that better? And so I resigned, and then I was like, okay, if I miss it, I go back, but I resign, and I never missed it since. So like I still feel it's was the definitely biggest decision in my life, and
You
the
never
best
regret
decision.
it?
Not a single day, not a single moment even.
Wow, nice. I have a question about like you quit
Yeah.
football. Do you think it will happen to you with poker? Like at some point you would like be tired and you would say, hey, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yes, I do have moments in poker where I feel that could be.
Like what did you feel in that 10 minutes?
In which 10 minutes?
When you decided to quit poker? I don't think that you were thinking for longer than 10 minutes.
No, it was for poker, like I really enjoy playing, but it's also like the way I do it. I really like playing football, but I don't want to play football professionally. And that's similar with poker, where like I really love most aspects of poker. I don't love some aspects of about poker, and that definitely have changed over the years now, where like it's a very big difference, like what events do I play, where do I play, and I got very conscious of that. So I'm now managing that, where like I used to play every Sunday. I used to play all the live like online series, and it was like you can never miss anything. And in that, when I was in that wheel, I was like, okay, that is draining, and I maybe need to be more long-term sustainable. Where like I want to play poker for the next 20 years, and not like burn out after 2, where you play every day and that's the only thing. So now I now try to manage it more in a way where I do enjoy it, and I currently love how the setup is. Like I get to play, and I love the starting part more than the playing part, and that's what I focus on. So like I think it's always a mix of how you distribute the time, even within poker, because you could play live games in Miami, you could play online in Sweden. But there's so many different things you could do, and I think I try to be as present and conscious about like what does good for me, and like what things I need to slow down at, and like how can I structure it that I actually enjoy it. And this way, this flexibility you don't have in professional sports. So like in poker, that's allowed. Like, this is just me who am responsible for my performance. So if I'm conscious about that, I do. I can make other decisions and adjust it a little bit.
Okay, so you say that balance is important, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And when did you realize that? Because I think that you were like kind of addicted to poker for a long time.
Yeah.
You were going to play like a lot, like never miss Sunday and everything. Like when did you understand that at some point, if you go on like this, you will need a break?
That the first time it was really present was about a year and a half ago, where it was.
Really? Just recently?
Yeah, that was like a year and a half ago.
Wow.
So for me, it was I played online all the time, and it was like that's the only thing. That was even like I think at that point I started playing Triton hard rollers without like any big success yet. It was like, okay, now reach a certain level, which is always the goal. I'm not really driven by the accomplishment itself, or like I'm not driven to, okay, I want to win so many titles. That never really drives me. And it was more of the process, like I don't love how I do it right now, and then I need to change something. And what I did then is I just didn't play for 2 months. And I didn't play for 2 months, I didn't study for 2 months, and it was like August, September. And I came back in October, and I came back and I absolutely loved it again. I loved studying part, I loved playing part. And funny enough, like that was afterwards, were like the most successful like 6 months of my career, like right after that. Because I remember like even when I went to Monaco last year, it was a financial decision where like I want to make money there, but like I would have played anywhere. If I knew I wouldn't be break even and not like play for free, I would have still done it because I loved it. And in that like setting, I know for myself that I perform the best. And so like I'm not saying that this is because the success was because of that, but like this definitely plays a role where like I always make sure that when I play, that's a conscious decision that this is the one thing I want to do.
So like next time when you want to have like very successful next 6 months, you just need to have a break for 2 months.
Exactly, yes.
What were you doing in that period?
Like, I mean, we're in Austria in the summertime. There's so many things to do. Like it's absolutely brilliant. We have fantastic mountains, we have lakes. I love biking. I love wake surfing. I love going out with friends. I love spending time with friends. So like Amanda and I, we have e-bikes, and so we just e-bike around. And like in Austria, there's so many things going on in the summer. We have also like a big festival in St. Pölten, which we go to. And it's never boring. So like we live next to a lake, so we meet up with friends. And I think that's the one thing that like I know that I enjoy the most in my life. And that's also like, I don't really go to Vegas in the summer anymore because of it, because like these 3 months, it's like short summer in Austria, but are just for me like wholly kind of like this is the time I enjoy the most, and the rest of the time I can focus on poker. So in this period I slow down, I don't play, because in Austria you have to play like late nights, and then your sleeping rhythm is like you sleep really long, so I try to scale that back to a minimum and also enjoy like just being present as a normal person.
I have a friend who is a big fan of yours, and what? Oh, okay. This friend, not me, my friend. And he said that he knows interesting fact about you, that somewhere you said, or I don't know from where he knows this, that you get the biggest pleasure from poker in the most stressful moments, when you are on the final table, or you're playing high stakes, or you are like in important all-in or something. Why is that? Like,
I ask myself the question too, where that come from. And so, yes, that's true. I do enjoy the moments where there is a lot of pressure. I think it comes from my childhood. Like I have an amazing relationship with my parents. And like I'm a Taurus, my dad is a Taurus too. So like we are.
Do you believe in that?
My wife does believe in it.
Okay,
so like
okay.
I believe in it too.
Is she astrologist or something?
No, but she loves that stuff. She loves.
Okay.
So like he's very strong-headed. So we fought a lot in the childhood. I also was a pretty tough to deal with kid, I guess. Like I was very stubborn. I always wanted to know everything, and like so it was not easy to raise, I guess. And then and there was always like the opportunity for a fight somewhere. And like now growing up, I realized, okay, that we fought a lot in my childhood, or my parents fought. That created an environment where like anything could happen at any moment. And I feel like that gave me, and then I talked with someone about it, and I never considered that before, that this might have created where like I excel under uncertainty and under pressure, because I was just very much used to it. And then translated well into sports, where like I already remember I did enjoy the moments where like it's the end of a game, or the end like something important, and like now it goes down to okay, how you actually perform. And some personalities are not really enjoying that. For a weird reason, I do like it, because like it's just okay, now you have to really perform and nail it. And that translates to poker pretty well. And the first time I realized when I played like the live tournaments and the live high rollers, were like, okay, actually I do like this. I do like playing the high rollers. I do like playing on the spotlight, and I think that stems from there. And I think it's just like how I was raised. To be honest, there's not much. I didn't prepare it. It's just like when I'm in the situations, I just.
Okay,
I do enjoy it. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's interesting thing. Okay, we have our colleague, our ambassador, Patrick Leonard.
Yes.
He's not here with us for this festival, but what I like about him, that he always set goals for the future.
Yeah.
Like he make plans, he loves to fulfill them, and he likes to be better every day, every month, every year, and everything. Do you set goals? Do you set goals for poker? And if yes, like what's your strategy? Like what you want to do? Like big and small goals, if you have.
Yes and no. Yes, I was very clear in planning how I want to go about the next years. And that was more like in 2020, 2021, where I basically broke it down. Okay, what's the status quo? Like where I am right now, and where do I want to go? And I didn't have a clear goal, because I think in poker it's hard to set like good goals. Like winning something isn't really a great goal to have, because there's a lot of variance involved. It's more like how good of a player you can become. It was definitely a goal of mine to play live high stakes, which involves a lot of stuff where like, first of all, you have to become really good. You have to get the reputation that you're good, because you need the selection. you have to get the image, and like this whole thing, that was kind of my broad goal. And then I broke it down into like segments. So like, hey, for that to happen, what do I need to do? And then I broke it down like, hey, specific to poker, I need to play perfect preflop. I need to work on these aspects of the game tree. I need to play the flop well, the turn well, the river well. And then I broke it down. Okay, I want to work on this segment for this time, and I want to have like, I gave myself a score of like 0 to 100. Where do I think I am? And so I broke it down into like small categories to actually work on, and with an overarching goal of, okay, I want to achieve that. No, because now after the time, I realized I was also like very focused on the outcome, and I did not was not as present as I would love to have been in the past. So like I was like very driven to have success, or like to be good as a player, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I would have loved to. So like now when I set goals, I'm like, okay, I want to play this Triton event, or like I want to play this series. It's more about, okay, I do everything I can do to prepare well, but like I try to detach myself from the outcome and just enjoy the process more. And because like I think with a goal setting, it's kind of it is a successful strategy because it drives you towards the goal. The downside is like that you make kind of everything else less relevant. And I think now knowing and going through the process, if I would do it again, I would be more present in the steps in between. I would enjoy going to, I don't know, a small series with my friends more, not thinking about, hey, I want to win this, and more like, hey, I want to win this, but I also want to enjoy the time with my friends there, where I have not done that well in the past, and that is kind of a regret that I have now thinking back of it. So now when I go next week to Monaco, yes, I do want to win, and I did prepare for that, but it's also like I do want to have a good time playing, enjoy that, and have a good time also with the people there, because I think that's the only thing I have taken away from all the experience in the past.
And what was your like experience before? What were your like goals?
Like very much outcome driven.
Okay.
So like if I win, great. If I didn't win, okay, I need to work more. I need to look up this hand. Like obviously that is a successful strategy. However, that takes away from enjoying the process. And I think now I'm more present and understand that this is actually what matters. But that is easier said once you had success, because like once you didn't, I had this feeling where I want to prove myself in the community. And once you reach that, you realize actually that is not that important. And that's the one thing I would have done differently, definitely.
Okay, so you need the fun, you need to get the pleasure, and the outcome is not that important anymore.
I think that is yes. The outcome obviously is important. Like when I play a tournament, I want to play it as well as possible. It's not a, hey, I'm here for fun. It's more like I want to compete, but just be present that the outcome doesn't matter. Like yes, you win, you feel great for 20 minutes, and then it's back to normal. So now I realize, okay, it's actually better to optimize to all the hours before, that they are as enjoyable as possible, instead of just the one moment where you win, because it doesn't.
Okay, I have a stupid question.
Yeah.
You'd rather be lucky or good?
I'd rather be good.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that was like obvious from what you said. Yeah. For you, it's more important like to perform great, and if you lose all in and didn't win a tournament, that's just fine.
That I can totally like that I'm very detached from. Like if I get unlucky, I can totally live with that. It's just like I can separate that well. If I made a mistake that I didn't know, it's fine. If I made a mistake out of any reason where like I was just like tired or not thinking, that I struggle way more. So like it's better now, but like I had a hard time forgiving myself for mistakes where I was just think about it for like 10 more seconds and like find the little details.
I understand.
How about you? Is it easy for you if you like spot a mistake that costs you some people?
Yes, it will hurt me like for long.
Yeah.
I didn't manage to cope with that. Sometimes like I still remember my like bad place from years, and I just I cannot let it go. I know that it cost me a lot, and I knew that I should do that, and it hurts me. I know this is like bad thinking. You just need to let it go. It's like the lesson, take it, and that's it. Like, you became CoinPoker ambassador.
Yes.
Tell us more about experience, like how you feel, what are your expectations?
So I started working with CoinPoker, I believe now 10 months ago, or about 10 months ago. So like way before I became an ambassador, and I got to know the team, and I got to know the backstory. Like CoinPoker got new ownership in May, and like a new strategy, and I talked with them, and I was like, okay, that is their plan. Like how they want to take CoinPoker from where it is now to CoinPoker where this will be in the future. And like being so many years in the industry, it's just really awesome to have like the ownership group. They know exactly what they want, they know where to want to go, and they're brilliant minds. With them it was like, okay, I can clearly see their vision and I can buy into that, and I want to work with these guys to make CoinPoker the place that I would want to play on. And so I talked with, that was probably May, with Patrick, like, hey, we have this project with CoinPoker, can you see anywhere? And I remember that was a long shot, because like him getting onto CoinPoker that early when CoinPoker didn't have like the reputation that it has here now, it was a long shot. So I just reached out, and we talked about, we'd had a call, and it was like, actually that sounds very interesting. And we did that in May. So we talked with the team. It's like, okay, these are the non-negotiables for us. We want to have a good poker room. We want to have a safe poker room. We want to be as transparent as possible. So back then, one thing for Patrick and me is like, hey, we want to make sure, because all the things that happened in the past with the poker sites, that anyone who plays on CoinPoker feels safe. And one of the things was, okay, we want to have all the customer deposits be separate from the company funds and be displayed. Okay, if you deposit on CoinPoker, they will be displayed on the blockchain that these are separate. So like we shared it with the team, we shared it with the ownership group, and they're like, okay, sure, let's do that. And they put it up in 3 weeks. I was like, okay, sure. After we set that up, we just announced the ambassadorship, and then we go from there. And that was in August, and it's absolutely brilliant. Also, like now the setup, also working with the marketing team, working with Philip, and also like all the new staff members that I got to know the first time, even in Dublin, and I've been like working online with them for 10 months. It's just a really, really nice experience, and we got a lot of great talent from the industry now collected at CoinPoker, and it's a brilliant experience.
That's great. Which opportunities for yourself you see like working with CoinPoker?
It's nice because like if I would have taken a partnership with, I don't know, ACR, Chichi, or WPT, I would have been like, they would use my name or like use the brand, and I wouldn't have any influence. And like what are the actual decisions in the company? Like how does the product look like? What decision, like who do we work with? What partnerships do we do? And that is really nice with CoinPoker, because this is at a very early stage where like these things we can still design ourselves. So like if we make the decision, okay, how do we want the table to look like? It is not a decision of like a huge company that have the department after top department. It's more of a decision, okay, they send it to me, I ask a couple hundred players about their opinion. It's like, what do you like about Chichi? What do you like about Stars? And we come to one agreement, and then I present it to the team. It's like, these are the important things that we need to work on, and these are the important things that we need to implement to make the experience better for the player. Because I think for a big enterprise, and now we learned that with CoinPoker, like it is a big organization, and it's very challenging to grow but still be attached to the player base, to your actual customers, and not be too detached from it, because I think that's where mistakes happen, and I think that's where we excel at CoinPoker, that we are really in tune of like what's going on, what do the players like, and like how can we make the experience for them better. And I think that is the unique opportunity we have there, where we can make a product, where we have a fantastic team, we have a lot of resources to put to growing it. And I believe that is going forward. Like I know also competitors, they are now CoinPoker is on the map of them, and they're worried that CoinPoker might take the spot, and they should be.
You sound very enthusiastic.
I am, yes, I am.
I like it about that. You know, like now we are here in Dublin, and it was for the first time when CoinPoker made live satellites and attract people to come here. Can you tell us more about that? Like, why is it that important?
So the partnership with the Irish Poker Festival, I believe, started in June when Fintan and Antonio reached out to our team. Was like, hey, we have this festival. It's been running for a few years. We're looking for an online partnership. And CoinPoker was right after the takeover from the ownership, or like it was in the refining phase, and it was a big project at this time. It was like, hey, let's do it, and now let's do it turn into a lot of little steps that we haven't considered in that afterwards. So like it was a big project to set it up, and we started to run satellites, and we needed to promote them. We needed to get the players who would like to play the event, to play on CoinPoker. So like we learned a lot in the process. It's really fun to set it up. We definitely want to do that in the future again, and also work with the Irish Poker Festival, because I think the venue here is fantastic.
Yeah,
Dublin
it's
is
great.
amazing.
It's awesome.
And that is one thing, like it is a big focus for a small company. Like if it's Stars or GG, it might just be a small department handling it. For us, it's a big thing that we want to work on. So we want to make sure like whoever we send in then there's like 50 players who play regularly on CoinPoker to the event, and we want to make sure they have a good experience. So that's definitely great learning experience and a great fun now to set that up and have it as successful as it is, because everybody says, okay, Dublin is an awesome city, and they love the event.
Is it your first time here in Dublin?
Yes. So it's my first time in Dublin. I've been here 2 days. We went out both days. So like we went to the Temple Bar yesterday, which is great with live music, by the way. And on the first day, I went to another small pub. But it's also nice because you now meet colleagues that you never have seen in person before, and you go to a pub, you go to...
Yeah, I think that everyone should like come to Dublin like at least
It's
once
awesome.
in the life, especially if you like beer.
You know, the best part
whiskey.
about Dublin is like the people are amazing. Like they're so like outgoing and like sharp and funny. Like it's just like it's such a unique where like they like when you talk to someone at a bar, or like it's just like always witty and like funny, and it's just it's just awesome.
I didn't have an opportunity to go out like you 2 days in a row. You are partying, but
we can go out later today at actually they are all at the Temple Bar.
I'm sorry, I need to work. I need to work. Yes, I have
midnight?
I have some job. Yes, but we will have fun tomorrow at the party.
We can talk with your boss.
Sure, but I didn't go out. But I had an opportunity to meet people at the poker tables. And what I can say that they are like very easygoing here. So that's very nice. I love Irish, and I'm happy to know Fintan Gavin.
Yes.
I love you, Fintan. I love your festival. Please invite me more. Yeah, it's a great place to come, and I recommend everyone to come here. So now short questions.
Yes. Blitz questions.
Yes, right. Blitz questions. What's your biggest win?
The $1 million one drop. Last year it was 4.7 million.
It was like first place, right?
I got second to Nikita. Run up. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, a win would be.
Like, it's your like best cash, right?
The best cash was the one drop. The biggest win was the 40K mystery bounty at the Triton last year in Monaco, where I got 1.5.
Do you have an opportunity to beat this result this year?
I do, yes. So last year I played the Invitational. It was my first Invitational ever, and I got.
Were you a pro or
VIP
or
no,
VIP
honestly,
football player?
I should have gone the VIP route. I'd be like, oh, I'm the football player. I want to play with you guys. But I missed that opportunity. So like I was coming on as a pro, and I played it. And it's like this is by far my most favorite tournament. I remember last year it was right at the bubble, and the bubble was like a big like $500,000 bubble, and like a lot of the VIPs crushed the pros in that event, and it was like 20 of like the 14 players left was like 8 or 9 VIPs, so like only a few pros were left. And at the bubble, I played with Danny Tang, and also I remember Haralabob. He had this like big poodle, you know, I don't know if you've seen, and the poodle like goes everywhere and it's the cutest dog in the world, and he just sits at the table with us. And the thing is, was like it was for me the biggest tournament I've ever played, and it just felt like a home game.
Oh, really?
So it was just like it was brilliant. Like the atmosphere, like be it for a pro or for VIP, is just unbeatable. It was really just
That's very nice format.
super
honestly
nice.
speaking.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
And the nice thing also about it is, although the pro side, the players, they also know how to make a good experience for the VIP players. Like it is a thing where like you have to build like a network, and you have to build a relationship with people, and that doesn't only stop at like the invitation. That also like, okay, you need to make sure like whoever plays as a VIP feels welcome, whoever plays as a pro feels welcome, and that is an atmosphere in itself, a dynamic, which is absolutely brilliant to play poker. It's for a lot of money, of course, but it's from a personal relationship level, it just feels really, really nice. And that was what was Triton is doing fantastically to put up the events.
That's great. That's great. Who was the toughest opponent to you?
Ever or in that tournament?
Ever.
That is a really good question.
It can be some fish, I think. Like
Fish.
I don't know. Because you know how professionals play,
Yeah.
and like fishes aren't so unpredictable.
Yes, I think there are a few who come to my mind. It's not a specific. It's more like a group of players, and it might be like it's very hard to differentiate.
Austrians.
Matthias. Yes.
Okay.
No, it's. I would say the toughest ones are Timothy Adams.
Okay.
Mikita is very tough to play because it's like in the high stakes world, like you have some players who are really good, but they have some certain tendencies where you kind of know how to get them, and then you have like players who just are so well-round players, where it feels like you cannot really grip them because like every aspect of the game they play so well. And players that come to my mind is Jason Kuhn, Adrian Mateos is really tough. I think Juan Pardo is really, really good as well. So like they are super, super good in areas and also understand all the aspects of where they can be out of line, where they need to be in line. And that creates a dynamic where like if you play against them, the only thing you can do is just like try to match, like there's not really a big angle that you can take against them. And I think like in the live high roller scene, these are the very best players, and you do notice them, like be it Seth Davis or Chris Brewer, or like that is a very elite group that play just poker on a, to be honest, different level than, and I think many players don't realize how good these players are.
Did it happen to you that you were on tilt because you seem so balanced and so calm? Like
on tilt, I would say on the table, not that much, because like in my youth, when I was like 12 or 13, what happened was like I played a tournament schedule and I lost like $30 and like a $600 bankroll, and I wanted to win up the $30 because I never wanted to end a session in the loss.
And you were playing heads up?
Exactly. I played heads up to win.
Chasing losses?
Yes, exactly. And I always doubled, you know, it's like if I lost to 25, I doubled it, and I always ended up busting my bankroll in this moment. So like I had the problem, it was like I couldn't control that side. Now like on tilt, barely, but there is real life moments where I get really frustrated, definitely.
You need to go through that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, next question.
Yeah.
What's your favorite football club?
Wow.
If you have one.
I would go with Liverpool, but I'm honestly, I keep saying that because I need to pick someone. I'm not really that emotionally attached to football anymore. When I grew up, I used to be a Bayern Munich fan. I do like them. I'm not really passionate about them. It's like my friends joke, like I like watching the event. I like going to games, and if there's a big Champions League game, or like I just like to go there. But like whoever wins, honestly.
What I know about football players, professional football players, they like to play, but they don't like to watch.
Yes, I bet like maybe once or twice a year watch a football game.
Okay.
Yeah, rather live. Like I love concerts and I love like big sporting events.
I have a question from Diana.
Okay.
She asked like, how many times would you like to go to Coldplay concert?
Okay. So the Coldplay went to Vienna in August, and when I heard that, I was like, like everybody that I know has to experience, because I went to Coldplay like 1.5 years ago, and I'm a huge Coldplay fan. And I went to Milan with a few friends of mine, and we watched it. And so
you had to share this experience.
Yes. So like they came like the first day, and then they sold out within like 2 minutes, and then they put on 4 shows total. And I bought tickets for every one of the shows.
Really?
Yes. And on every day I took another friends group of mine. It was like the first day I went with a few friends, the second day I went with friends.
Really?
And on Saturday I went with a big group of friends where we were like 12 people.
Okay.
So I think I bought in the end like, I don't know, like 30 tickets or something.
Okay.
And on Sunday actually, it's just a funny story. Like my wife Amanda, she's her hairdresser in Arkansas, in the United States. He is the hairdresser of the band. So like he travels with the band, and they talked, and it's like told that like I'm going to Coldplay like four times, and he's like, really? Because like he's very close with the band and Chris, and it's like, let me get you like a family and friends ticket. So on Sunday we went to the family and friends. We met Chris Martin's parents, and like it was a really nice experience. Where like on Sunday, which was the last concert, we got to the whole Coldplay concert. So like Coldplay experience. So like if I could, I would go every week. Like if you have Friday is Coldplay day and they're always in Vienna, I would go every day.
Also, I have a question from my follower. He wanted to find out if there are like similar patterns in approach to professional sports and to poker.
Oh, like, definitely, yes. I think in sports you're not as conscious about it, but in poker you may be a little bit more of like filtering out what is important. So like in poker, I think it's very important to realize quickly which are the elements that make the difference in win rates. And work on those, because this is the highest leverage on your performance. So like in sports, I think it's the same. Like if you're a footballer, it's way more important to train on, like if you're a striker, you need to train on your finishing, because that will have the highest impact short term or like even long term on your performance, because you score more goals. It's pretty much simple as that. And like filtering that out and working on the most important parts first, I think that gives you a big edge. And also just like the discipline in general, I would say.
Yeah. Looks like you have very nice discipline overall.
Yeah, maybe in reality I'm way less disciplined than I may make it. So like anyone watching, I'm definitely not as discipline as it.
Oh, okay,
so like,
okay.
It should, like, that's what one thing I want everyone to take away. Like, this is not like, I'm not like, if you might watch this and then you're like, oh wow, he's like, no, that's not the reality. I'm very normal and very just like I have the same like I don't want to study for a day, like it's like the same things. But like I talked to Diana and she asked me like how I study, and I was like, yeah, I study like maybe in like 45 minutes or an hour average a day. And she was like, oh my God, she's like, because she's working like 3 or 4 hours a day, and she thinks like everybody's doing that. And in reality, I can tell you that none of the high stakes pros are working like 3 or 4 hours every day. They're not as disciplined as you would think. There are definitely exceptions, but like to become a high stakes player, I think the key is to work efficient and on the right things, and the time that you work on it, be as productive as possible. And that the time doesn't matter that much. It's more about how efficient is the time that you spend on it. It's very easy to put someone on like a pedestal and like, oh, that's so out of reach. And in poker, I had that growing up, and like going up the stakes and like, oh, they are definitely out of reach, these players, because like I idolize them. And you play and then realize, okay, they have leaks here and there. And I think it's important to always challenge your beliefs in there and not like put someone out of reach, because in poker there's no unknowns. Nobody is like the secret. It's more like you can work hard on it, or like harder, or like it's not that crazy of a thing to do. So like I think anybody watching, I think it's important to believe that you can make that happen for yourself and just work on it. Is that something for you where you, how do you approach that, where you see yourself and like how you want to?
If we speak about me, I think for me personally, to have the balance is the most important thing. And I don't force myself to do some things. If I want, I do. If I feel that I have to do, I do. That's not for me that I need to do this because no matter what, I need to do this. I know that's not probably good for like, I'm not that great discipline, but at least when I do something, I do it like with my heart.
Yes.
So I think for me personally, it's more important to be balanced like that.
And then you enjoy the process.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
You do it because you like it, and you like it in the long run too.
Yeah. Correct. But while speaking to you, I found out about some interesting things, and I will add to my experience and will try to do that. Thank you so much for this conversation. And my last question is, if there is something you would like to tell our amazing guys who are watching this interview, come play to this amazing festival next time when you have an opportunity or something.
Yes, come play the next Dublin Irish Poker Festival. But I think the more broader thing that I would like anyone watching that and taking away, like I've watched like a lot of, like I've watched every Joe Ingram podcast of the past, and I watched all the high stakes players, and I took a lot away from them, and then like, I tried to implement whatever they're talking. And I think as a player on the high level, like I recently did a podcast and then someone asked, like, you shared way too much, like why you give it away. So I think it's important just to share it, because like if someone wants to do that and wants to go down this route, they will do it anyway. And it's not about just knowing how to do it, it's about the execution down the road. So like if anyone is watching it, or like, I think it's getting out there and like just taking it step by step and then breaking it down for you. For like, I've been like in poker for a very long time, but like I started out by watching back then Chris Ferguson play free rolls on Full Tilt, and like him documenting his journey, and like I tried to follow every step of it. Obviously that is like the very first step, but like he shared that, and I was very grateful back then at the time. So like going after that and just realizing, okay, whatever you see on like camera, or like someone at Triton, or like anything that we idolize in the poker world, is in reality very much achievable for most players who are like ambitious.
I think that you can be like an excellent role model for people who start playing poker.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for this conversation. Thank you, Mario.
Thank you, Olga.